Come on up. You guys go first. Cool.
All right, folks, let's get started. I want to thank you all for coming to honor Coach Bonfigli. We have 7 fantastic speakers to honor him tonight. But first, I want to thank a few people. I'd like to thank the wonderful folks here at St. Vincent's. Principal Greco, event coordinator Allison Falvey, athletic director Heather Campbell, assistant coach Nick Jacobi, Anna Barrera, who made the cake and the cupcakes. Thank you, Anna. Elisa Sarlat, who helped me a ton with t-shirts. Thank you, Elisa. Legendary big brother and Tom's assistant forever, the great Jerry Bonfigli. And the glue who held all the moving parts together as we planned this event over the last few months, the very handsome and talented Michael Barabalt. Lastly, huge kudos to my friend and former Cardinal Newman teammate, who was the captain of Coach Bonfigli's very first team in 1981, Mr. Troy Blank. Let's move on. Okay, Coach, I want to thank you for letting us gather your extended family here today. Beyond the wins and the losses, it's the positive impact that you've had on so many of our lives. That impact is your legacy, and it spans generations. We are all blessed to be children of the Bonfire. Love you, Coach. All right, our first speaker is Robert Williams, who is father of senior Cole Williams, the star of the team. Robert?
Thank you all for being here. This is really amazing. I started filming Cole back when he was a sophomore and he sat on the bench at CASA. And we did NBA for years and years and years. Some of the pictures that I've taken of the last few years on that thing. And in the process of that, I started really paying attention to Tom and his process of coaching. And he, in the process, what I have witnessed with Cole is, Tom, you are a huge impact on him. You have a huge impact. You're a mentor, and he loves you dearly. And what you've taught him, not on the court, but off the court, is priceless. And I think that losing a year to CIF decision last year is worth every minute on the court. And I thank you intensely for that. And in the process, I captured this really radically cool picture, and I'm sorry, Barabal, that I kind of left you hanging, but we got a picture for all the coaches. Cole's going to say a few words. Thank you. You're a rock star. Thank you.
Mr. Bonfigli. I came here as a junior about 2 years ago, and when I came into the program, I didn't know how long I was going to sit out for, and it turned out that I just sat the whole year, which was very disappointing. But through that sitting out and being on the practice team, he showed me that to just be patient and just to wait, and he showed me to just keep working hard every morning. He says he's the first one here at school, but I think I am, because I come here every morning. But so my dad's been taking pictures of me throughout this whole year and of the whole team, and I want Coach, I want you to open this in front of everybody because it's one of the coolest pictures I've seen throughout this whole year. That's right.
You're my captain, I guess. what we call here the brain trust.
I just want to say thank you so much for everything you've done for this program and for me, and I think that I'm very excited that I can still be a student even when you're done coaching, and thank you so much.
All right, we have another player to honor Coach Bonfigli, co-captain Hudson Stipp. Hudson has played for Tom all 4 years. He's a model student with a GPA above 4.0. Let's hear it for Hudson.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for all being here tonight. My name is Hudson Stipp, and I'm a senior here at SB, and like you said, co-captain of Coach Tom's final team. Today was my 88th game playing for Coach Tom, and I'm truly honored to be able to speak tonight on his behalf. A lot of people tonight are talking about all the accolades, the wins, all 863 of them, including tonight, and all of the championships. However, tonight, I want to talk about the aspect about Coach I believe stands out the most, his character. From the first day I stepped out on the court as a tiny 14-year-old, the first thing Coach told us, besides running the famous bounce pass, was character. He told us that his most important job, more important than winning, was to help us grow as people of character and integrity. For Coach Tom, that means working hard every play, whether that's in practice or a game, playing with intensity and respect, and winning and losing with grace. The last 4 years, Coach Tom has never failed to remind us what is really important in this game, and these lessons, working hard, playing with intensity and respect, and winning and losing with grace, are obviously not just for the basketball court, they're life lessons as well. While I've learned a lot from Coach on the court, off the court, he has been a major role model for me. He's taught me and our entire team the value of preparation and detail. From talking every game day in his classroom to my friends and I eating lunch in his classroom, I've enjoyed every minute I've spent with Coach. He always reminds us that while he loves coaching, he loves teaching even more. And being in his AP economics class, as hard as that was, I was inspired by his passionate teaching. The knowledge he imparted to us in that class alone is a huge part of why I decided to major in economics in college. And while tonight is for Coach Tom, we can never forget his brother Jerry, who has been with him every step of the way. I've never seen two brothers so close, and whenever their names Tom and Jerry get compared to the famous cartoon Cat and Mouse, Tom never fails to add that in their house, he was always the cat and Jerry always the mouse. Jerry has been a huge part of my high school basketball career, always making sure I step in versus the zones, and always make sure I get back on defense. Above all, he always makes sure to keep the game fun for all of us and always has us entertained. So for all of that, I'm so grateful you were part of our team, Coach Jerry. Coach Tom, on behalf of our entire team, we are absolutely honored to be your last, and we will not disappoint in our final games and can hopefully add another championship to your long list of championship teams. Thank you everyone for your time.
Our next speaker is Jack Fitzgerald. Tom and Jack played football and basketball together in the late 60s and early 70s at Cardinal Newman. After attending college, Jack was Tom's first assistant coach when he took over the JV program at Newman. Jack assisted Tom off and on after that, most memorably on the 1989 team that went to the state finals. They have been best of friends for many, many years. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Fitzgerald.
So Tom would have played baseball with me, but he couldn't hit. Anyway, you hear the word legendary before tonight, all the posts and articles that you read, and we heard it again tonight, legendary. That's a big word. And he is. I mean, he's legendary, and to be legendary, you got to be able to do special things. And he always has done the little things that has allowed him to do the big things. And so he dots the I's and crosses the T's, which enables him to do the job that he does. And the thing about it with legends is they get the whole picture. I mean, Tom, gets along with the kids. He loves them as much as they love him. That's a legend. He unbelievably gets along with refs during the basketball game. Well, in his early days, there was more than once where I had to have him in bear hugs to keep him away from the refs. But as I've noticed, as the years have gone by, but even then, he would hardly ever get a technical, and I don't get it. But maybe because they knew that he was going to be a legend. His love for the game and his respect for the game, that makes a legend. Because you're not going to do things that you shouldn't do because the game comes first. And with that is his whole totality. The faculty members that he taught with, he got along with them. He loved them, they loved him. And the thing is, they may have been legends too, but he was a legend. And to be able to have the humility and the love for his job and his school, he would be able to develop those sorts of relationships. My dad nicknamed him the Lion, and we both had the fortunate pleasure of being able to play with him. I had also the fortunate pleasure of coaching with him. Jerry Robinson was, and my brother Pat were the first year I had ever coached with my dad. They were seniors in 1975. One of the best teams that ever came out of Carver Newman. 89 is probably close, and there's some others too. But he was named the Lion for a reason, and it was that competitive desire and that leadership. And he still is the Lion. I mean, I watched that, that team the first half tonight. I mean, you look at they weren't hitting their shots as much as they probably normally do. But you looked at their defense tonight. I mean, that's Tom Bonfigli right there. And that's another reason why he's a legend, is that he is one of the best, greatest defensive coaches in this area. Tom, which is another reason why, I respect and love him so much. He had a lot of adversity in his life. He had adversity as a young man, had things happen that, a lot of young men don't have to deal with. He had adversity as an adult. That was pretty serious. He overcame this. And it never stopped him. In fact, he became better because of it. And that lion, that something inside, that was the thing that he was allowed to be able to get through that. Whereas many people would not have been able to. Now if I can see my nose with tears in my eyes. And the thing is, he would never have been able to do any of that without his brother Jerry. He would not be called a legend right now if it wasn't for Jerry. I remember when we coached together, and with Tom, I had kids that were, three kids that were all in those, years, and I'm coaching CYO and the Little League and family time and all of that, and I'd have to, pick when I could coach and when I couldn't, and I'd have to take a couple years off to appease my poor wife, and then she'd give me a blessing where I could coach a couple more years, but anyway, I'd always get that call from him. Well, what do you think about this year? You're gonna be with us this year? Oh, Tom, sorry I can't. But I tell you, the times that we did coach, I loved every single minute of it. Just a couple of stories before I finish. I won't tell them the bad ones. So when I was, we were at the JC. Tom was 1 year ahead of me, so I'm at the JC, and I'm playing baseball. And so I asked Hank Cooper, who was the coach at the time, if I could work out with the basketball team in order to get ready for baseball. So I said, sure. And so I went through the whole basketball workout, and then at the end of that workout, he goes, hey, how would you like to be our statistician this year? So I was the stat guy. I sit at the table, and keep the stats at all the road games, and at that time, JC, we were going all over the place. I mean, just the league games. And so I got to see him play that whole entire year, both home and away. And he was the lion, he was the leader, he was the point guard, and he made that team so much better. Tom was also in my wedding party. In fact, there's 3 great coaches that were in my wedding party. Tom, my brother, and Ron Myers, who was a heck of a baseball coach at the Santa Rosa JC. And then the last thing I'm going to say, so when we were when the first year I coached with Tom and the JVs, we were in the St. Ignatius tournament. And so at the end of we got back into town, and I went to pick up Artie, who's not with us anymore, but we went to pick her up. We weren't married yet, and we were going somewhere after the game. So we had just picked her up, and we're driving. We see all this smoke in the subdivision in West Santa Rosa. And so anyway, we drove by, and we could see that there was a fire going on. So we got out of the car, and we automatically went into motion. He found a hose on the side of the house. I found another hose. And it was getting pretty hairy, and so we actually put the fire out, and before the firemen even got there. And so anyway, when we were leaving, he always called me swordfish because of my nose. He goes swordfish. He goes, we should just become firemen. Tom, I'm glad you did, because you're a lot better coach than you would have been a fireman.
Nice job, Jack. Nice job. Next speaker is legendary coach who led his Montgomery Vikings to 562 victories over 31 years. Coach Fitchie and Bonfigli went head-to-head many times. Most of those games came down to whoever had the final possession. I know because I attended a lot of those games. They were all nail-biters. They were rivals, and they are best of friends. Please welcome Coach Tom Bonfigli.
Well, I see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of ex-players that came into the gym and battled it out for a long time, so it's really good to see you guys play there. Obviously, it's a tremendous honor to be here to speak on behalf of Tom Bonfigli Bonfigli. Everybody, they know the numbers. He's 800 plus wins, 40 years, and like everybody said, it's much more than the wins and losses. He's actually taught me how to be a better coach. I'm a better coach from him. Not anymore, I was. So thank you for that. I skip around a lot. I have these notes here. My daughter, youngest daughter, says, "Dad, you better not just try to wing it, you know." And here I go. And I guess it's a bad personality trait or something. But anyway, it's great to be here, and it is a very huge honor for me. Of those 800 plus, I don't know the exact numbers, sorry. Too many came against me, I know that. So I built some of his stats up right there. So, especially in the early days, Tom probably has, he's got such a sharp mind, he probably knows the days and dates and the scores of our games. We're close. We weren't very good. I'm surprised that it hung around as long as I did. So, when did I start coaching? In 1984, I believe, was my first year. And Tom had just had a couple years under his belt, I believe. Yeah. He even was telling me when I started. So that's what I love about Tom. You know, I could say stuff like that, and he's just gonna laugh at me, and we get along really good, and that's pretty cool. When I think about Tom, I think about the rivalry we had, how great a rivalry it was. What a special coach he was. And there were special times then, a little different. But not my first round, going more into the second round when he came back. But the big games, the close games, entertaining games. I would have to think of anybody who went to a few of those games, that our teams were awful entertaining at times. We even, I don't know whose idea it was, but one year we were in we took a league game and played it at Santa Rosa JC. Took it out of our own gym. I don't know if I did it or you did it. We did it together. And I don't think anybody would do that these days. But we knew the fans wanted to come. We did it for the number of fans that could come to the game. JC was just much bigger than our gym. So that was special. I also think of, the players we had. This all the great players both teams had at times. It was so special to be able to go in that gym and know that you had to bring your best. If you didn't bring your best, maybe it would have looked a little bit like out there tonight, a little bit, you know. So you had to prepare. If you didn't prepare against Tom, you were in big trouble. Some little stories I skipped, some maybe funnier stuff. Some people don't know, even a couple of older guys I talked to tonight. Tom's 2 years younger than I am, I believe. Montgomery and Cornell had never played against each other in those days. They weren't in the same league. There's something going on with the principal. I don't know the whole story, but we never played each other. That's too bad. But we did play against Jerry. I did. We played 9th grade Herbert Slater Cardinal Newman game.
You don't want to tell who won.
I don't know who won.
You guys won by a lot.
A lot? Was Tom at the game? So anyway, that's one little thing. And another little thing I don't hardly anybody would know is, out of the blue one year in the 70s, I bet Tom will know the date, he asked me to play in the city team. I don't know if he did, maybe it was Jerry or somebody.
We both did.
And I'm going, where is this coming from, you know? Back in that day, City League was really, it was fun. It was a lot, it was big, and a lot of teams, a lot of players, and so I said, yeah. I didn't have no idea. I was playing with the Carl Newman guys, right? But you know what I loved about it? They love to pass. And I love to shoot. I mean, it was like, fit me like a glove. I actually almost felt bad sometimes that I was taking too many shots, but they made me. They were forcing me. They were forcing me. The only thing, they didn't ask me back the next year. So I don't know, I never asked them about that. So I thought I'd throw a little off the cuff thing there. Let me get back to the important stuff. I also am asked, I use an ask tonight and yesterday. It's all been 8 or 9 years since I retired. I don't know where that time has gone, but they asked me, do you miss coaching? And I go, well, not really. I said, I did miss a couple things. I miss everyday interaction with the players and my coaches. Every day you come in and you get to be around young kids. I miss that. Miss the conversation with the coaches. And I miss going to head-on-head battles with Tom Bonfigli. 2 things. And that's the honest truth. Because they were special. Then some things I learned coaching against Tom. A lot. I'm just going to say a couple of those. You better be prepared. I already said that. This preparation was off the charts. You better play hard. If you didn't play hard, you'd find out soon it was a bad deal. And then they didn't beat themselves. They're fundamentally sound. They're not going to make a lot of mistakes. You had to beat them. They weren't gonna, you know, beat themselves. You had to do it. You had to do it yourself. And those are the things I went back. Those things made me a better coach. Knowing that Tom worked so hard, you know, I better pick it up. And then a lot of the words I think about Tom, and I just wanted to. Some of the words that have been said tonight already, and I'll repeat them. Is when I think of Tom, what comes to my mind right away is a friend, a teacher, a coach, respect. Respect Tom more than any other coach I ever coached against. Preparation's been said numerous times, so organized, hard work, competitive, dedicated, and last but not least, talkative. That's why I don't know why we get along really good. I'm not exactly the biggest talker around. So I know I'm probably going longer than I should, and probably than I thought. To close it out, I just truly appreciated the times, the friendship with Tom, the competitive basketball games that we had over all those years. And it's a rivalry that I don't know ever, in my opinion, will be matched. Congratulations, Tom, on a wonderful career, a legendary career, second to none in this area by far. and I wish you the very best in your retirement. And I know you'll do well on that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. That was great. Great. Hey, just for fun, if you played for Coach Bonfigli at Justin Siena, stand up. Let me see who's here today. Who's here from Justin? Thank you for coming, guys. I appreciate it. At Cardinal Newman, if you played for Tom, Cardinal Newman, stand up. Let me see you. My partner in crime, Troy, he said, he came up with a great idea. How about all former players that are here tonight, we're going to sign the back of the plaque that was presented to Coach before the game. So stick around for that after this. Next speaker. Next we have arguably one of the greatest scorers of all time at Cardinal Newman. Just ask the cheerleaders from back in his day. Just kidding, Chris, sorry. Billy Briscoe thought it would be funny. Chris was a 3-year starter on the 90, 91, and 1992 teams. Chris tells me that that 92 team was Coach Bonfigli's first North Coast championship team. It certainly wouldn't be his last. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Chris Devine.
Wow. I speak for all the former players and coaches or anyone who's really been impacted by Coach Bonfigli, and I'm humbled and honored to be up here tonight. I don't know, you guys probably don't know my story, but Coach Fitchie was actually a really big influence on me and my younger development. I was a Bennett Valley, Montgomery guy, and him and Steve Tiedemann were two of the best players that I've ever played with. And Fitchie is a great coach. I mean, between these two guys, you're looking at 1,500 probably career wins. And Coach Fitch, don't undersell yourself. You were a hell of a coach. We talk about words like legendary and terrific and throw those things around, but to me, I'm a basketball junkie. Just in case you don't know, I still, I've been in touch with Jerry and Tom, and I go to a lot of games still, and I love the game. But when you talk about greatness, Kay, Bobby Knight, John Wood, Dean Smith, I mean, this man is right in that same category at the high school level. So there aren't anybody, they don't make them like that anymore, and they're not going to make them like that. And I mean, I was thinking about it on the drive up from, I live in Sacramento and area, and you've coached baby boomers, millennials, Generation X, Generation Z. I mean, to be that adaptive, incredible. It's an amazing, the consistency, like Coach Fitch said. I'm speechless, really. 42 years, 800 something career wins, all the accolades. But one thing that always stuck with me is Coach never really talked about wins. It wasn't like, we were going to win 20 games this year, or we wanted to, put 30 up. It was the product. It was the byproduct of what we did. And, if you put in the work, you put in all the practice and the commitment and the heart, the dedication, the end takes care of itself. And it always did, excuse me. I want to give a shout out to my teammates because I'm just speaking really through them tonight. And I played, personally, I think I played in the pinnacle of basketball in Sonoma County. It was, the late 80s, early 90s. We didn't have a lot to do. All we did was play basketball. We looked for games in town. Coach Fitch or Key would open the gym. Bonfigli would open the gym up. But these guys in the back there, Damian Levesque, give a shout out. One of the great Newman players, probably one of Tom's first Division I, or a couple, Division I scholarship. Cletus Coffey went on to play college football. Derek Jones, Joe Geis, Darren Carpenter, Vaughn Pena. Vaughn and I came in together. These were just really outstanding players, and without them, we couldn't have been successful. So I just wanted to recognize those guys. Just a few of the fun sayings that we were talking about. Oh, and for the record, I got to throw this out, and I'm going to be objective here. In 1989, I was a freshman, and I played on the JV team. Vaughn Pena and I did, and everyone's heard these stories before, but the '89 team, I'm going to say it, is the best team ever to play. It's Santa Rosa. End of the argument. You had a team that averaged probably 6'5", 6'6" in height. Beat an Archbishop Nitty team that Cardinal Newman probably had no business playing with, and just kicked their ass at the Arco Arena. And that year was as special as any year. To this day, I think about those games. I think about waiting in line at Santa Rosa High School or Montgomery. These years were the best, some of the best years of my life. So the memories are phenomenal. But some of the sayings that we were talking about with the guys today, fatigue makes cowards of us all. I love that saying because it couldn't be truer. I've forgotten more about the game than what you know. And Coach would chuckle a little bit, right? Obviously, Lord give us strength, let's go to war. And we went to war. I mean, don't make no mistake about it. When we played, throw all the crap aside, it was battle. I mean, the battles we had with Montgomery and Pioneer and Santa Rosa, and the leagues back then, I will say this, there was a lot of difference in margin. We didn't beat teams by 25 points. There were small wins, every possession counted. And like Coach Fitch said, there wasn't a guy more prepared than Coach Bonfigli. One thing I learned from him is commitment, being prepared, being dedicated, being on time. Funny story, I don't know, a couple of years ago I was at a meeting and a couple of people came in late and I kind of got mad at them, and this is how it worked. What's wrong? I'm like, you'd be on time. And they're like, well, we're a couple minutes late. I'm like, hey, look, when I was late, I ran. and none of us like to run. And so, I learned so much more about life from Coach Bonfigli. I was a young kind of, that was a pretty funny joke. Because, trust me, none of the girls knew my name. I wish they did, but they didn't. Those guys in the back know that. But we loved basketball, and we were talking about stories. I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit, but one of the memories I always had was with Coach. And I don't know if you still do this, but we used to have breakfast at Lions, and no, there's no more Lions, but we would all meet. And back then, when we were this group of kids, and all we did was 90%. I remember being dropped off at Cardinal Newman at 7 in the morning and getting home at 7:30 at night. And that was it. That was life. And when I got home, I turned on ESPN and watched the ACC or, the Big Ten or somebody playing on ESPN. But we loved basketball. And that's all we knew was just, that's all we did. But his commitment to us and being prepared was just incredible. But getting back to the Lions story, because Vaughn and I were talking about this today, and we would go to Lions, and back then there was no social media or internet, and I know I'm sounding old, but we played at a time when there were some really good players in the Bay Area, and Jason Kidd, the Berry brothers, Darnell Robinson, Gerald Walker, a lot of guys went on to play in the NBA. And Coach would buy a couple papers, the East Bay Times, the San Francisco Chronicle, and we would look at the box scores and say, oh, I know this guy, right? But one thing Coach was, he never was too over-impressed or overhyped with other players. The '89 team smashed De La Salle at De La Salle. They had the Berry brothers, and Coach used to say, one thing he would tell us is, he'd look at you and go, you know what, Demai, they're not that damn good. Get after them. And he's right. At the end of the day, the kid breathes and you know, it plays just like you. So, I mean, he gave me so much confidence as a player, as a person. I can't thank him enough. And another story real quick. We used to go down to San Luis Obispo for a team camp. And Fitz, you guys went to San Luis Obispo.
We went one here, yeah.
Yeah. And we would go and play against a lot of the SoCal teams and really good competition down there. And one year, they always have like speakers from other colleges, and they'd have a couple pros down there. And one year they got a guy, Tim Gergovich, and I'll never forget him. And Gergovich is retired now, but he was the forefather of the Amoeba defense at UNLV when Jerry Cartanian was there and they won the national championship. And Gergovich, if you Google him, he went on to coach at the Portland Trailblazers and the Denver Nuggets. And anyway, he was a defensive whiz. And he brought out, this guy was sweating, he was intense. He brought out a bunch of our players. He just picked a bunch of kids out and he was teaching them, how to get into help and deny and all this stuff. And he had our guys run through some things. And we dominated. And I remember watching, Gergovich walks out at the end, and I actually went by him, and he looked at Harold Presley, and Harold Presley played for the Kings at the time, and remember Harold was there, and Gergovich goes, who the hell are those kids? And Presley goes, I don't know. He goes, Jesus, they've been taught well. And Coach, you taught us well. And the last thing, and like I said, the wins, we were the first section championship team. We went on a tear our senior year. We really played well. We had, I think 6 or 7 guys in our senior team went on to play college at some level of basketball or football or track. We had some good players. But one thing I'll say, we beat Mitty at home in a double overtime game that I'll never forget. And I was thinking about it too, Coach. I don't know if any West Catholic athletic team has ever. Yeah, see, I mean, they beat Rearman and then, they never beat, and these are powerhouse national programs, and we kicked their butt, and the one thing I'll say about the kids that are seniors this year, unfortunately, we went on the next day, we were in the NorCal Final Four, and we lost to Palma, and I played terrible, and I'll never forget that game. It was the worst game of my career. I play average. Any of our teams play average, we win. And they went on to win the state championship the next week. They beat Lincoln and San Diego, and I'll never forget that. And for you seniors out there, young man, I mean, play every game like it's, you'll remember it to your last. I mean, and this is a special time, and I'm just so blessed to be part of Carter Merman and the family that you created, Coach. And you've been such a big positive influence on my life.
Hey, he's pretty good, huh? All right, next up we have award-winning high school sports writer and analyst who has interviewed Coach Bonfigli many times over his 40-plus years as a journalist. Nobody covers high school sports better than this guy. Give it up for the one and only Mr. Harold Abend.
I thought I was going to go along. Boy, Jack and Coach Fitchie, they got me beat. Hello, and congratulations to my friend Tom Bonfigli on this day that he's been honored for his 5 decades of coaching excellence and the thousands of lives he has touched in the process, many of whom are here tonight with us. My name is Harold Abin, and I'm the Associate Editor of Cal High Sports and the Senior Editor of Prep to Prep, and I'm honored and blessed to be here with you. Over the 42 years that I've had some sort of involvement with high school sports, there are dozens and dozens of coaches in just about every sport. Boys and girls basketball, football, baseball, softball, and even volleyball that I've made long-lasting positive relationships with. But there really are only a handful that I can call a friend and confidant. And Tom Bonfigli is one of them. Although we come from completely different backgrounds, his is a multi-sport star in Santa Rosa, and me a jock from San Francisco, who graduated with Phil Ching out there, who sang the national anthem. He was a basketball star. I really wasn't. I was a soccer player, but, you know, we also both graduated in 1971. We're both the same age. You know, 70 plus. And also, we've dedicated our lives to student athletes. And we also share some common character defects Jack mentioned that we both have fought and overcome. Some of my favorite dinners have been when Tom and I have met at his favorite restaurant, Lagar, in Railroad Square. It was there that my dinner with Tom Bonfigli stories evolved from mimicking the 1981 movie My Dinner with Andre, which was just a horrid movie. 2.5 hours of having dinner with somebody. But you know what? That first time, we closed the restaurant, but not before what I called in the story a dinner that was longer than a basketball game and a game that ended far too soon. We could have gone all night. What was it, Tom? Like 3 hours? Over 3 hours. And it was all about basketball. And it was all about the kids. That dinner came on the heels of Tom's Cardinals winning the 2013 State CIF Northern Regional Division IV title. At a time when, according to the Cal High Sports Online record book, I get a little emotion here. You have to bear with me. I love this guy. I really do. There aren't a lot of coaches I love. Tom is one of them, I have to tell you. He is one of them. At that time, when his team won the 2013 NorCals, he was the number 50 all-time winningest coach in the state and 8th on the active list. During his time at the helm of Justin Siena, he graced my old Redwood Empire report when he notched career coaching win number 500, and that was over 17 years ago. That was really the first time Tom made one of my features. But since then, he has gotten into 70 different stories I've penned in Cal High Sports, ESPN Rise, ESPN High School, Prep to Prep, and the now gone Prep Feed. Of those 70, 9 have been features dedicated solely to Tom. And the only person that I've done that many stories on is Bob Lattiser of Dallas LaSalle. I mean, Tom is in some pretty good company when it comes to, I just love writing about the guy. I love writing about him and what he does, and what he's done. Besides my dinner with Tom Bonfigli features and the career win number 500 feature, there was one when he notched career number 700 in 252. When he notched career number 700 in 2015, and number 800 at the Rose City Tournament. This is something that really got me. Despite all the fanfare surrounding his number 800 milestone, a tearful Tom wanted to dedicate the game to Sebastian Rodriguez, a member of the Cardinal Newman 2012-13 team that set a record for wins with a 32-4 finish and captured the Northern Regional D4 Championship. After graduation, Rodriguez was tragically killed in a bicycle accident. And that's Tom. It wasn't about getting career number 800. It was about honoring a young man that lost his life. That tells you a lot about Tom. Since then, and since Tom has picked up the Bonfather moniker, there were two features when the St. Vincent de Paul administration made the astute decision to hire him. As a teacher and boys basketball head coach. One of which was entitled, "The Bonfather is Alive and on Call at St. Vincent de Paul." One in February of 2022, when Tom got career win number 830, while coaching the Mustangs to a victory that got him past his old nemesis, Lou Silanovich, the Oxnard Santa Clara coach that got the best of him and his Cardinals in the 1989 state championship. And another one, he got career coaching win number 845 earlier this season, when he passed legendary Mike Phelps of Alameda St. Joseph and Bishop O'Dowd to become the number 2 winningest coach in the North Section history, and number 6 all time in the state, behind another legend, Don Lippy. I first became acquainted with Tom, the Bonfather, in 1989, when, as a media relations consultant for the California Scholastic Federation, I was in charge of the press conferences at the state championships. All I knew about him at the time was he was bringing in a ragtag group of kids into the game against Santa Clara, a Santa Clara team that was essentially playing a home game at Ventura College. And they were undefeated, Tom points out. Thank you for the help. I need coaching. Back then, D1, D2, and D3 were played at the Oakland Coliseum, and D4 and 5 were played in Southern California. So while I didn't see the game in person, since I was at the Coliseum, we got a fax with the box score. There was no internet back then, folks. As we all know, Thomas Cardinals fell short in that game, just like they did in 2013 when they lost a close one to Pacific Hills of West Hollywood. You know, whether or not Tom Bonfigli has won a state championship, to me, is a moot point. What's important to me, and many here, and many others right here, out here, and beyond, is what Tom has meant to the thousands of young people he has taught and coached. Yes, the Bonfather will retire after the season as one of the winningest boys basketball coaches in state history. Right now, and I wrote this before the game tonight, I knew you weren't going to lose this one. Right now, he's at 860 wins, counting tonight's victory over Healdsburg. But his legacy is not really about wins and losses. It's about life and what you do with your life. And in that respect, there isn't a bigger winner around these parts than Tom Bonfigli. Congratulations to my friend, Tom Bonfigli, the greatest coach in the history of the Redwood Empire and amongst the greatest in the history of California boys high school basketball. Thank you.
Harold referenced Sebastian Rodriguez. I know is very important to Tom. Tragically was taken after graduation. The Rodriguez family is here sitting there. You guys stand up and let's take a wave. Our final speaker is legendary coach, like Tom. I too was blessed to play for him. Ed Lloyd coached football at Cardinal Newman from 1966 to 1985, and over his entire career won 217 high school football games. His starting quarterback for a couple of those seasons was Tom Bonfigli. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Lloyd.
Thank you. My wife asked me today what I was going to say, so I'm going to get up here and win it. Coaching, every nursing records and all that stuff, it's a little more complex than that. Because if you're coaching high school kids, a lot of them are moved here now. No, and it's stupid, but it's true. And the most important person in their life is a coach. It is. And I had a tremendous advantage as a coach, because I was good here now. Seriously, I was. I went to military school. My brother read my dismissal order. My high school football coach saved my life. So, Tom learned that. And because Tom was good for Howard High School. He wasn't. But he was great. And he, I picked him to be a quarterback after I picked his brother first. And, you know, and his brother wasn't moving. I mean, they had characteristics that you could see. It couldn't be explained. And Tom, what was it, 5'8", 140? Were you that big as a junior? But he had intangibles. And all the stuff he had were things that you can't teach. And things that great coaches need. And what he had, the first thing, and it's been talked about, but you kind of shined up a little bit, I think he had a love for the players and what the game meant to the players. You know, what the game meant to the players. And we use the term, you know, is this guy a player or is he a jersey wearer? And Tommy was a player. Jerry was a player. And I had my 80th birthday last year, and I got up and I said I learned more from Jerry than I learned than he learned from me, and none of that stuff. But it was true. You know, I learned from the players. And you can't fake it. You know, you cannot fool kids. rookies that are, they can see through you and up and outs. And, you know, Tommy was honest as a coach, which is why he's a great coach. And he always taught, Coach, I love my players. And he did. Because I think sometimes growing up, the game is the only thing that saves a kid. Not all kids, most kids stay by or whatever. But there are a number of kids that need the game. It's the only thing they can cling to that keeps them out of trouble. And so, if you love the game and you love the kids, then you can be a great coach. And if you don't have it, and, you know, look at Tom, you know, great coaches, look at Tom here, you know, they love their players and they love the game. And they'll do what it takes, they'll discipline the player if need be. You know, they'll run them, suspend them, all that good stuff. But the love for the players, and the love for the player for the game, is what separates a very small percentage of coaches and the ones that are, all that stuff. You know, so, I will, a few quick things. I was also a state basketball coach. And considering I knew very little about basketball, but I did know if you practiced defense, it was like football and everything else, and I was good at that. So, and we had fun. And you know what I realized, my whole thing was this union pride was fun. And it was make your team unselfish. And the guys that are selfish, get rid of it. Play hard. Play hard. And have fun doing it. Those were the three things. And if you did those three things, you won. And if you didn't, you lost. And the score doesn't matter. And Tommy, his second varsity, first thing he won for the second varsity game, he's out there, and he is small. And we get in the fourth quarter, we're behind. And he had to make plays, and it was his second game as a quarterback in football. He was split in until we and he almost like that, kind of a block word of last week. That was pretty cool. His brother taught me a lot. His brother was pretty, not Tommy was a little too out of it. Brother pretty square. But Tom carried it over, and there's a legacy of people, not the wins, 800, all that, that's nice, but it really doesn't matter. I'm going to go down and see my high school football coach, and he's early 90s, and he's dying. But I go down every year and thank him for saving my life, every year. And Tommy's got a slew of guys like me. Thank you, him. Thank you very much.
Well, it's that time. Time to hear from the man himself. A man who means so much to so many. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Tom Bonfigli.
really thank so many people tonight. If I miss anybody, my voice is shot. It's been like this for 42 years. 47 actually. People up here at this stage mean a lot to me. I have a special love for each one of them. This would not have happened if it wasn't for Tom Nunes. My first captain, love you dearly, Troy Blank. And I also want to thank Allison Falvey. She's a lady in a red buzzer around here. And I also want to thank Gina back there and our administration have been great to me since I've been down here. I want to thank my coaching staff too. Came down here, not a native Petaluma. Michael's done a great job in so many ways down here. A lot of times I tell I wouldn't still be doing it if it wasn't for you. So to Michael Barabalt and Nick Jacoby, who are my successors, going to do great things here. And of course, talking a minute about Jerry. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. I also want to thank Nick. Thank you very much, Heather. She's our AD. Okay, I'm not going to be long. And I mean, it's all been said, you know. But there's a few things that I'd like to say here as I close. I'm humbled by this whole night. The most important things in my life is people sitting out there and people sitting up here. And it's been very emotional for me. The guy that played scared me through the game tonight because it was so hard for me. I'm kind of a business as usual person, but my players know how much I love them and how much I care about them. So, this has been a hard night. You know, throughout my career, I always worried about the kids. And still do. And, you know, the numbers just kind of stack up. And you're doing your job. And you're doing it as best you can. I have great teachers, great coaches. I love St. Vincent's, the school here. I left Cardinal and it broke my heart. But it wasn't the school where I went, no longer represented the things I believe in. This school here, we had a really hard struggle this year, keeping things floating. And the teachers here, my parents and our amazing parents here, so my kids. To help these people make it through. Yeah, I plan to keep staying here and teaching and coaching in my own way. No more basketball. But I love the school. Consider myself a very spiritual person. And my faith is the most important thing in my life. It always has been. That's why I'm here. I get a 30-year chip, March 11th. That's just a lot more important than the 863 wins, or I wouldn't be here. But in a nutshell, on my knees, I said a rosary, I promised to bless Mother that if she would remove that scourge from me, that I'd always take care of her children. She kept the promise and I got to keep mine. You did, Coach. You did. thank you. But first and foremost, thank you is to God. God. Every morning, every rosary, every prayer. And, I know it's St. Vincent's down here, God's here. Every morning. Every morning I walk into my class and I thank God I can still teach kids. My brother Jerry, I want to talk about him for a minute. He's coached over 1,200 games with me. And saved my life more times than I can count. And I think siblings, sometimes you have good siblings. Nobody has a better brother than I have. He's a great assistant coach. He never tells me what I do well. He's always telling all the stuff I'm doing wrong. But I think you need to have one of those people close to you. Really a good balance there. I've been through thick and thin in my life. When you're thick, you got a lot of people that love you and support you. The nature of fans. When it got real thin, I'm talking like razor thin. My brother was always there. So, Jared, thanks for being always there for me. Thank you. I also want to thank my wife, Valerie. All my students, Valerie, because they talk about her all the time. What a wonderful wife she is, because she is. She came into this whole thing late, so she had to make a lot of adjustments. And 15-hour days are not exactly something that, contributes to marital bliss. She's been very supportive of me, and I love her dearly. And she's always there for me. And I love my two sons. They're my real sons, Jeffrey, Alex, I love you both. Okay. A few more points here. Get down to the brass tacks. I had a wonderful family growing up. We had the restaurant. Totally Italian to the bone. Great food, great people, great customers. So, Mom and Dad, thanks a million. Yeah, and all my family, my friends. Pray the word every day, there was in my rosary. But, I have to dedicate the thank yous really to two people. If you really understand sports, people talk about coaching trees. And in my life, there's two really big trees in my life as a coach. Anybody knows who those two people are. My first thank you goes to you, Coach. Coach Lloyd. And he's right. He shocked me to death when I was a sophomore in high school. Didn't play any football when I was younger. And he put his arm around me and he said, I want you to be my quarterback. I was shocked. Never threw a ball in my life. My brother Jerry was a great quarterback. And I guess he saw some things in me that a lot of other people did not see. The good things. I learned so many things from Coach Lloyd. And it was never about winning. Everything that's been said, either from Coach Lloyd and from my other three, that was Coach Fitzgerald. And Floyd gave me confidence. He gave me a chance to become who I could become, be the best I could become. Mike Keith right on my Saturday night, he said, this one's about Coach Floyd. He's the rudest man in the world. And that's because he always tells the truth. And it's true. And most people don't. But he always did. To this day, I see him, talk to him, always the truth. Always a straight talk. Not what I wanted to hear, what I needed to hear. And Coach, I learned so much from you about everything in my life. About life, about people, and about, things that are important, and about, competitive greatness. I learned all those things from you. The thing about the truth, you always told us the truth. And whether you liked it or not, generally you're always right. You always were. Your guidance, your wisdom, your love. Throughout my playing and coaching career, so you're one of those trees. I'm one of the apples that fell off of that tree. I get pretty emotional about this last one. Does everybody in my talk? Not going to be easy to get through this. When you're a young man, you look around, and I'm a pretty sharp young man. You look around, and you're looking for that one person who you know is genuine. I had two, but it was just like two angels, Coach Lloyd and Coach Fitzgerald. He was everything a human being could do. When people talk about the saints that I pray on every day, I think him. Because he was. He died in 86. Not a day goes by that I don't think him. You guys are all talking about me being legendary. He was a platinum standard as platinum standard as a human being as a Christian. The one guy in my life that he never ever disappointed me. I had high expectations. I always think the best about people. And he always did too. And to me, he was a human being. But about as close to perfect as a human being can be. And I wanted to be like him. What I learned from Coach, and Coach here, you gotta walk the talk. You gotta walk the talk. You gotta be all that to your players and your students. And early in my career, I wasn't walking a straight line. But I had the two of them. I always went back to them. Because they were my inspiration in my life. Coach Fitzgerald, his love and his confidence. I know Bill Mackey's here played for Coach. My brother did, and some of you other guys were fortunate, like Jerry Robinson, to play for Coach Fitzgerald. And there's the article that Brett Steppenberg wrote. Rich Dellenberg, and the last line was, his goodness will live for generations. did the moral right thing. Morally being, doing the right thing was most important. It was never about winning. Same as Coach Floyd. And it was always about his faith. It was always about his faith. That was his cornerstone. Yeah, I made my cornerstone. You know, it's the only thing in life that's real. It's what's going to get you through. And, you know, I look at my job, I'm doing God's work. I come to teach, I come to love, I come to support. I'm firm. My players know that. They also know I take care about them. Because I do. Although Coach Floyd and Coach Fitzgerald are really different personalities, to say the least. You know, they really taught the same lessons. You know, it's like reading two different synoptic gospels. I mean, they're both about Jesus Christ. And they both taught you the same things. They have their own way of doing it, but they taught the same things. And that's why I was so lucky to play at Carlin in those really early years. I think, you know, their impact in me is like forever. And my success is their success. My success was always my players' success. Always. I didn't win 863 games. One of my kids texted me today. He said, Coach, you won 862 games. And I texted him back and I said, we did. Last few things. People are talking about famous quotes. I think I'm pretty quotable. But these are some of my favorite quotes that I learned from Coach Fitzgerald. I learned from Coach Lloyd. Your best is always good enough. I also learned you play as you practice. I also learned Coach Fitzgerald's favorite, you need to pay the price. And that's what life's about. Greatness comes with great difficulty and hard work. But you got to be willing to pay the price. You know, I think the most important quality you can have as a person, as a player, and as a coach, I learned from them, you got to love your teammates. You have to be unselfish. Coach Lloyd once said he's never coached a great player who was selfish. I haven't either. And that's an important thing to teach. I mean, a person who died on a cross, pretty unselfish. My last point is this. You know, every day, every night when you go out for over 1,200 games, and especially after Coach passed away, and this is the truth, including tonight, you know, I go out, send my team out there. They have their own team in their own way, which is family. That's their thing, family, and they are. I'm proud of them. And I swear to God, every time I send my team out there to play, in the back of my mind, what the resounding thing I hear of, it's been said earlier, was the Lord give us strength, let's go to war. And now, every day when you get up, if the race got up in America, I don't have to go to war. But I need the strength every day. And these young people, that's where I get my energy. And God has blessed me to be able to teach and coach. Teach 8,500 kids and coach 2,500. And do something I love. And at the end of the day, when he said made me birth, it's important to know we've done something good. So, there's one of my favorite sayings, and I'll end with this one. When I get to heaven, and I sure hope I do, it may take me a while, but when I get there, the one thing you want to hear from the Blessed Mother, because that's what I'm going to see, have prayers about it. And I want to hear it from her son. Is, well done, my good servant.
Wow. That's the end of our this part of it tonight. But we want to socialize. We don't want to stop. Get together with Coach, shake his hand, give him a hug. Thank you to all the speakers tonight. I appreciate you agreeing to do this. And I'm going to say goodbye, but I'm going to give it over to Principal Greco.
I don't know how I can follow that, but can we please give a round of applause for all our speakers here? I will follow that man wherever he goes or wherever he tells me to go. And I have done so far. After being at Newman for 29 years, Tom was already here and said, hey, you got to come down. You got to come out. This is a very special place. Jerry and I came down here together. We did our Newman thing, and he said it's a special place. And right away, I should thank you for having me come down here. The kids, the families, the community. This is an amazing, small Catholic community that is going to thrive for a long time. And I'm very proud to be a part of it. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made. I want to thank Tom also. He has generously allowed me to speak to some of the current needs this school has. This beautiful school has been for over 100 years. As some of you already have known, this year has been a pretty tough year financially. But with the blessing of the parish and the diocese, we have put a wonderful new board in place, and we are turning the school will be an independent Catholic school as of July 1st. To do that, we need to raise funds to finish this school and to continue for 24-25. Our board of directors have created a fundraiser on a platform called Donor Box for this event. There are flyers on your table that highlight the naming opportunities available to honor the wonderful man, Mr. Tom Bonfigli. On this flyer, you'll find a QR code, the donor website, and the information needed to submit a check or cash donation. Additionally, we have Ms. Gina Hackus, Director of Advancement, and Summer Hanson, board member, here at a table at the back of the room, available to answer any donor-related questions and assist you in processing the donation tonight. Thank you, Tom, for a beautiful evening. Thank you all, and God bless you all, and let's have a great evening. Thank you.
We got to thank Troy Blake and Tom Dudas for putting this on. Would not have happened.
They just do